All right. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome back. Hopefully, you all are doing well today. So, last week, the energy finally caught up with me. Last week, we finished the move and we got everything all done, and it just hit me like a freight train. So there was no Wednesday or Friday video. I could not do any sort of readings, even if I wanted to. My vibration was so low, dealing with a bunch of everything that was going on, because transitions are hard, that I could not sit down in front of the camera and do these readings. I couldn't. I wasn't going to force myself. The one thing about being a tarot reader is knowing when your vibration is going to impact the cards and then in turn impact the message that you get. And so I wasn't going to subject you guys to that. It was not a pleasant time for me. My vibration was really, 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 really low. And on this channel, I'm all about vibration. I'm all about making sure that, my vibration is good. That way, again, your message isn't tainted by my vibration. I am a firm believer in that. I know that there are some tarot readers that no matter what's going on in their world, rain or shine, they make sure that a message gets out there. Some people do it daily. Some people do it, most of the tarot readers I know do it daily. I cannot do that. My vibration would struggle, the readings would struggle, you guys wouldn't get the advice that you needed as clearly as you should. I'm not like that. I cannot do that. I am human, and this is something that I enjoy doing, not just, as a hobby, but it's part of who I am, and so I just want to make sure that when you guys don't get a message, chances are there's something going on in my world that has prevented my vibration or prevented me from sitting down in front of the camera and getting you that message. So that's what happened that last week. That's why there was no Wednesday, Friday message, but we are jumping back into the swing of things with this week. So my intention is to have all of these done. That way they all fall accordingly for you. But today, our main focus is going to be the Beltane full moon. Yes, on the 1st and into the 2nd, today is now the 4th. So we are still in that full moon energy. It's 3 days before, 3 days after. So we'll still be feeling this till about the 5th or 6th. So it could bleed into Wednesday's video. But talk about one hell of a transformative full moon. This full moon correlates with the first day of summer. And it's, transformation. Most full moons are about, completion. But this one in particularly, it was about transformation. Beltane rituals, people do the maypoles. Other people, like myself, do bonfires to help cleanse and clear and help manifest. But it is a very transformative time because, I know spring solidifies, winter is coming to a close, but summer really solidifies that. Summer is about, continual growth, right? Spring is about waking up, about, the seeds that were planted, last year coming to fruition. But when those seeds grow and summer hits, sometimes seeds need to be uprooted, sometimes things need to be shifted, and that's where this fell. That's where this full moon falls in the context of transformation. So some seeds that you've been working on, may have needed to go. Others, may needed to have been uprooted and moved somewhere else. So don't think that it's just a personal transformation. It is about a transformation in general with your life, with my life, with everyone's life. So underneath we have poised. Absolutely. Past energy, we've got chopped wood. What's going to give me? Orphaned. Absolutely. What's up, big guy? Cosmo's here too. So, when it comes to this energy, it does kind of hit the Beltane energy. I feel like on the surface. Thank you. No, drop it. 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 I'll play tug with you here in a little bit. I gotta talk to our friends. No, you gotta. Yeah, let it go. Drop it. No. He's teasing me right now is what he's doing. What's that? Ha ha! Kids. Anyway, with this top energy here, I do feel as though that there is some sort of stagnation, which is ironic because I was just talking about transformation, poised, and then we have orphaned. During this time of transformation, it can be hard for people to let go and to allow this transition to happen. That's kind of why I was steamrolled last week. Because, you know, people are trying to say, oh, you know, everything's fine. Everything's fine. You know, trying to stand in that poised energy. This goes to 12, which goes to 3. You know, things are coming together. But this tells me that things aren't what they appear to be. They tell me that it's not, you know, all sunlight and roses over here. It feels like this. Because sometimes when we stand in the way, we feel left out. When we stand in the way of the transformation, you know, we feel left out. I'm going to push that back just a little bit. So what's going on underneath? What's going on underneath the surface? Because that's where I feel like that's where we're going to find our answers today. But this feels very, no. Like, it's all cool in the neighborhood. Like, it's all good. Like, I got this under control. Underneath, we have nature. Past energy with chopped wood, we have the observer. And future energy, we have trust. This is the hardest thing to do when transformation happens, is to trust the process, right? So, as we move through these chapters, you know, nature is going to run its course. Nature is going to go through its cycles, and we as humans go through these cycles. And I feel as though with chopped wood and observer, you know, the people who are pushing back on it, and you see it, right? You guys see it. You see these transformations. You know, you feel these cycles, especially with this full moon. This full moon, you know, was closing of chapters and beginning of new ones, and some people aren't ready for that. And that's okay. It's okay to not be ready. What the universe is asking is that you trust this process, right? Especially when things feel like this. This was me last week. You know, I'm usually the man with all the answers. I am the man with the plan. I've got a backup plan for the backup plan. Like, I am really well put together, and I usually have the answers that people are looking for, right? Last week, no, I did not. And that was very weird for me. There were a lot of things up in the air. There were a lot of things that I was dealing with. And so I was struggling. I didn't have those answers. In the end, it worked out the way it was supposed to. Not the way that I wanted. The way that it was supposed to. I mean, it did kind of work out the way that I wanted, but that's irrelevant. I mean, sometimes it works out that way. But, you know, the takeaway from that was to trust the process. The takeaway from that was to trust the universe and trust what I'd put into the universe to take me to where I needed to be. I know that I keep repeating myself, but this message is important. This message is important to be able to help you guys through this transition. Underneath we have temperance, with justice, Capricorn energy with the devil, and the Four of Swords. 3 out of the 4 cards, I'll walk away with that too. 10 of Swords. Okay. So, this is some serious energy going on underneath. Temperance, Justice, and the Capricorn energy. This tells me that there is a fear, this one is fear, not confinement, fear, of how the chips are going to fall, how things are going to balance out, you know, how the scales are going to swing. It's kind of like a checkbook, is what I'm seeing. It could be related to money for some of you, but I'm seeing a checkbook. And it's almost like you're not towards the end, but like you're sweating bullets halfway through it, like, oh my God, is this going to fuck up everything? But then we have the 4 of Swords and the 10 of Swords. And this is what I'm talking about. There's this healing here that comes after, you know, the fear. I had to go through the nonsense to get to the other side where I was finally able to heal. And then now that I'm sitting here, I realize that last week was kind of like an end of a chapter, an end of a version of me that I didn't see because I was too close. But there is a balance here. It's almost like, oh God. I'm hearing coming to collect. Kind of like a debt. And I'm not saying that you owe the universe. I'm not saying that. But it almost, I'm hearing debt. Or favor. Like coming to collect something from you. It's almost like the universe gave you something for a while. And now that we are transitioning into a new period, it's probably why we have the orphaned. Now that we're transitioning into a new period, you know, it's starting to take that from you. Because I feel like the energy became stagnant, even though you're like, I'm rocking it right now. The energy became stagnant with chopped wood. And I feel like you've seen that for a while. Because we're moving to new chapters. The Fool. That's why the universe is coming in. King of Cups. The next step is the Sun. So you're showing up as the Fool. The immediate next step is the King of Cups. And then the next hurdle is the Sun. And how that shows up for me, and this I'm just talking based off of these 3 cards alone, you know, new chapters are coming in, and there's a struggle with, you know, having that grace and gratitude for that chapter, right? Because, you know, we've grown accustomed to having this one thing or many things with us. That's why we're like, oh yeah, I'm rocking it right now. But then when the universe comes in and take those things, you know, it's hard to have that closure with those chapters because we're just focusing on what we're losing instead of what it is that it's trying to bring in for us. And that's why I feel like the next hurdle is the Sun. Grounding this energy, we have the 6 of Cups. Yeah. Guiding this energy, we have the 7 of Cups. Okay, 8 of Pentacles. Next energy, it's the 6 of Pentacles. Interesting. Motion. 2 of Wands, Queen of Wands, Empress, and the outcome is the 5 of Swords. This is going to cause people and situations to fall away. Right? You know, I kind of have been leading us up to this. You know, the universe is taking, you know, things from us. And it's not taking things from us. Like I said, I feel as though they did us a favor by giving us these things. Even though, you know, I don't think I'm explaining this right, but I'm doing my best as a human, right? So the universe gave us something kind of as a favor, right? And now we're at a point where that favor has run its course. It's kind of like the mafia. I don't know why that's going through my mind, but okay. I'm seeing The Godfather. But the universe is not a mean entity. It's not. I feel like out of the kindness of the universe's heart, it gave you this. It gave you something to work with. Eight of Pentacles. But now it's transitioned into, you know, instead of working, you know, the universe gave you something to work with, to show you that things can be worked with, to show you that you could be, you know, this person. You know, this was a stepping stone with the universe. The universe gave this to you and was like, here, work on this. And then when you hit a certain point, you know, we are inevitably going to have to come and take that from you, not because we want to hurt you, but because it's leading you to a point where you no longer need this energy and we've got something else for you. That's how the universe works. It's about that ebb and flow from the universe. I feel like you are dealing with some confusion, right? Seven of Cups. There may be, you know, like I was dealing with last week, there may be too many things up in the air. And now the universe is, you know, pulling things away from you, pulling these seeds that you've worked so hard on. And right now you're grounded in this Six of Cups, Six of Pentacles. You're grounded in this past. You're grounded in this energy of take by the universe. You could have gone through kind of a really rough week last week, just like I did. It may have been very hard. And your motion cards here, we have the Two of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and the Empress. You know, I know that we're going to be dramatic about it. We're human, right? I know I was dramatic about it. It was rough. It was rough. And so, you know, I feel as though, again, I do see the universe is trying to give you and give us what we wanted, what we want going forward. But when they gave us what they did, and I'm going to take a look at that. I'm going to take a look at that. I believe it got us through Ace of Swords. They got us through a conflicting time. There was a lesson here that needed to be learned. It's almost like with the Five of Wands, Page of Cups, Moon, and the Chariot. They give you a person. Give you a person or a situation that helped ignite your intuition, ignite your feelings, and helped you move forward through that difficult time. But now that that difficult time is over, and now that, you know, your intuition, your gifts, or, you know, that person has come to fulfill their role, now it's time for them to exit stage right. Right? They were there for the plot. And so, now that they're leaving, you know, we have the tools. We learned what we were supposed to learn. Because here's the Knight of Pentacles underneath. The lesson has been learned. So this is good. Two of Wands, the Empress. That is good. But I am seeing a little bit of drama. You know, oh God, what's that phrase? I'm going to do it. I'm going to complain the whole time, but I'm going to do it. And then the outcome here is that Five of Swords. So I do feel like this is leaving. We'll pull that too. This is on its way out. And believe it or not, it's not a matter of this is on its way out. You were on your way forward. That's what is this message. Raising consciousness. Absolutely. Page of Wands. I feel like you have outgrown Six of Swords, Three of Pentacles. You've outgrown this. The project is completed. And I feel like you are taking it out on yourself. It's like you're grasping at straws. Trying to bring it back. Trying to bring it back. And I don't think the universe is going to budge this time. You know, most times the universe gives us a little bit of leeway, but I feel like this is... I'm not going to say it's a fixed point. Because I don't have the fixed signs. But this is definitely something that I feel like is non-negotiable. This is something that needs to be done in order for you to progress forward. project is done. The project is done. The lesson was learned, and now it's time for the scales to balance themselves back out. And that's why I feel like this hurts so much. What's the next card? Yeah, all that glitters. Give me one more. Here and now. Yeah, give me one more. Soulmates. I feel like it's trying to bring you back into union with yourself or maybe with another, but I don't think it's with the energy that you've been dancing with. Give me this one. Strength. Death. Compassion. Yeah. I feel like this is putting you through a ringer. But the situation stagnated. The situation stagnated, maybe not for you, but in a way that made it helpful. And, you know, with nature, I was talking about the cycles of how, you know, nature goes through these cycles. Winter, spring, summer, fall, and then back to winter. You know, this could very well just be the end of the season. Even though it's beginning of summer, but it's the end of the season for spring. And so now that that is going, orphaned and trust, you definitely feel some type of way about it, but the universe is asking you to trust it. As it transitions you from the stagnation into something more, something that you can actually work on now. And I'm not saying that the universe is full of lessons. I mean, it kind of is, but I feel like whatever this was, it's run its course. It ran its course. And you sitting stagnant is not going to help you. You standing there poised, you know, is not going to help you. Because you've got places to be, things to do, new chapters to begin with. And that's why this transition period is happening. So be prepared. If this hasn't hit you yet, be prepared for something along these lines to creep up on you, to hit you, to I'm not going to say pull the rug out from under you, but if you're sitting here watching this reading, I feel as though you kind of already have an inkling of what this is. The observer. I feel like you see it. Even if you say that you don't want to see it or that you don't see it, and if you don't see it, it's not there, I feel like you do. Zodiac signs that I see, we've got Pisces, Sag, Libra, Capricorn, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Taurus. Libra, Taurus, Leo, Gemini, Sag, Libra, Capricorn, Cancer, Pisces. And that is what I see. So, thank you guys very much for joining me. As always, your company is well appreciated. And I will see you all again later. Bye for now.